Hey everybody, Sid Golden, Kirk Bowles here for Statesman and Hook'em.com. What was that we saw at Fort Worth?
An abomination, an embarrassment, a litter of just horrible football experiences had by the Texas Longhorns.
That about sums it up. Was this worse than the beatdown against Notre Dame?
Much, much worse, because they came in with something that they didn't have at Notre Dame: expectations.
Right.
The first two games the first game against Notre Dame was bad, but then they had hope after beating Rice, because they should have beaten Cal, should have beaten Oklahoma State, and they knew TCU was beat up, but they didn't close the deal. They went in there and got smashed, and count me as shocked. I didn't think they beat TCU, but I did think they put up more of a fight than they did.
Well, they put up zero fight. They weren't even competitive, not even remotely, so that thing was over after one quarter. Now we're in the middle of Oklahoma week. We have players calling out teammates on Twitter. This is a raging wildfire. It's a dumpster fire, if you will. How do you see what happened today when Dylan Haynes and some other players were calling out the younger teammates and they were lashing back on Twitter?
Kirk, this is what happens when you lose. Losing brings about more problems. Winning is a panacea. If they had won at TCU, they'd be eating tea cakes and going bowling and barbecuing. But they are a bad team in the midst of a losing streak, and are quite worse, possibly the worst Texas team we've seen in like 40 years.
Well, they're losing a lot of credibility, if they have any at all. And you know, Taylor Doyle, the center, tells us just minutes ago that we're very close. You know, 50-7 isn't close at all. So, and when you have players calling out other players and you have dissension in the locker room, you know, Charlie Strong is very close to having this slip away, totally losing control of his team. And fittingly, here comes Oklahoma. Oklahoma undefeated, top 10 team, Baker Mayfield, a Heisman candidate. What realistically can we expect in the Cotton Bowl Saturday?
Another massive beatdown of Texas. They will play a little bit better than they did against TCU, but there's a disconnect in the locker room. There's a disconnect between the players and coaches, and I'm starting to think there's a disconnect between the coaches and the coaches.
Right.
No one seems to be on the same page. So there's nothing that we've seen to make me believe that Texas has any kind of shot of beating Oklahoma.
Right, I agree with you 100%. So they have a disconnect. We hope you connect with us. Sid Golden, Kirk Bowles. Go to Hook'em.com for daily updates on Longhorn football.